Hey cousins, happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Respectfully. I wanted to give this a little bit of time before addressing it, but rest in peace to the legendary Hulk Hogan. Now, if you guys have seen, August 1st was actually officially declared Hulk Hogan Day over in Florida, thanks to Ron DeSantis, just really celebrating the legacy of the legendary Hulk Hogan. Those of you who have followed me for a while, you may know that I am a massive WWE fan, so this definitely hit close to home for me. Now, what's crazy about the whole thing is I thought everybody would be on the same page about, Hulk Hogan being this iconic American hero and this patriot. But there are a lot of people, even in the WWE community, that are very upset about the celebration of life for Hulk Hogan. And here is an example of somebody that is just very bitter.
Sheesh, Hulk Hogan died on the anniversary of his racist scandal. What you gonna do when the circle of life comes for you?
So we are going to talk today about just this whole scandal and whether or not I think, was Hulk Hogan actually racist? You guys know the vibes. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Welcome to Respectfully. So as you saw, that TikToker was making fun of the fact that Hulk Hogan has passed away and bringing up the fact that 10 years ago on the day that Hulk Hogan passed was a huge scandal that happened that in many ways tainted his legacy. And it goes even further than that, to the point where people are being canceled for even celebrating Hulk Hogan's legacy. And before we get into the receipts, quote unquote, of Hulk Hogan being racist, I want to talk about this huge creator named Joey Swoll. So Joey Swoll, if you're not familiar with him, he does a lot of fitness content. I don't actually know his exact claim to fame, but I do know he goes online and talks a lot about how you shouldn't care what people think and all of this stuff. And he posted a throwback video of himself in a Hulk Hogan costume. Here's the video. Seems pretty harmless. The guy's jacked, just like Hulk, and this is iconic. I'm even tempted to be Hulk Hogan for Halloween. We'll see. So he posts this. You would think that this would be harmless, okay? Obviously, this is someone that's his childhood hero, like millions of people feel the same way. But this man, Joey Swoll, got canceled beyond comprehension simply because he posted this video working out in a Hulk Hogan costume. And his video that he initially followed it up with, stood on business quite a bit. He actually set this on TikTok Live.
Listen, I can post Hulk Hogan if I want to. Just because somebody makes a mistake in their life doesn't mean that they haven't done good things. Period. I don't know what he did, and he said something 20 years ago and apologized for it. If you're going to attack me, you better go after the colored athletes and the people that are black and minority that went and posted him as well. Okay, the man was nice to me. He made a mistake. I'm not God. People make mistakes in life. If you got a problem with that, look at yourself. There's not one single person in here that hasn't made a mistake in their life. So
racism is not a mistake.
Enough. The booger nose ring alone just made me. I can't even listen to what that person has to say. Respectfully, I judge by looks. We listen and we judge here. So that being said, I respected that video. He stood on business. People are, of course, now even more mad, 10 times more angry at Joey Swoll because he said something that was objectively true, that the colored athletes need to apologize too, if that's the case. And I wish he would have stood on that business. Saying the word colored, it offended a lot of people. But here's the thing. It is so difficult to keep up with the rhetoric these days of what is socially acceptable and what is not, because colored is still even in the NAACP name. So you would think that a lot of people just still view the word colored as non-white, because it's like, what are you supposed to say? Just like ethnic? Like, what is the word that you're supposed to use in the context of what he was trying to use? He obviously wasn't saying it in a derogatory way. So I don't understand why people are being like, I get it. But at the same time, I think it's ridiculous that people were that mad at the fact that he said colored. Like, I don't like to be colored, but the thing is I don't even like to be called African American. I really don't. It's like, okay, I'll accept the term. I'd rather be called black, or more than anything, just call me American at this point, because it's like my ancestry comes from more places than just Africa. So, and I don't really have a connection to Africa, but that being said, every single person has a different perspective on that. So the policing of language when it comes to race is just tired, played out, and exhausted. But you have people like Mike Tyson, for example. Mike Tyson, iconic athlete within his own right. He got asked during a podcast, and I'm not going to play the clip just because I can give you the gist, but essentially Mike Tyson went on this whole tirade being like, the fact that people are getting mad at the celebration of Hulk Hogan's life is crazy. He's like, yes, Hulk Hogan said some ignorant things, which he apologized for, which we should be able to move on. And what Mike Tyson said that I thought was hilarious is he talked about how we all use racial slurs low-key. And it's so valid. Like, I discriminate against everybody equally. I'm calling everybody slurs. There's not a slur out there that I have not said, if we're being honest. And it's not like I'm saying it out of hate. I'm just saying it to be funny and petty and ironic. Okay, I have a dark sense of humor. It is what it is. I also have dark skin. It is what it is. So at the end of the day, it's like, get over it. Like a little sprinkle of racist, funny jokes isn't going to kill anybody. So... as long as you have it with some hot sauce. You know, I'm more offended by how the left likes to degrade black people and tell us that we should view ourselves as victims and think that the way to win us over in elections is having people twerk on stage. That's what offends me. I'm not offended by someone saying colored or what somebody had to say decades ago out of context or even in context. So it's like, it is what it is. All that to say, Joey Swoll, right when I was starting to really gain respect for the guy, because I honestly don't know too much about him, but I see him all the time on my For You page. He goes and he posts this weak apology.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said,
blink twice if you're held hostage. This sounds like such a PR script if I've ever heard one. And it's so cringe because, again, living in LA and being around influencers and personally knowing so many people who do influencer PR and content creator PR, etc., they have all told me about this script and the way they have to make their people do it, and they hate it themselves, but they just know, or at least they think that that's the only way their clients are going to be able to keep their careers. It's so nauseating, but you can play the rest of the apology.
That I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream.
That's enough. And then he apologized about the whole color thing. It's like, come on, Joey. You talk so much about not caring what people have to say, and now here you are being weak. You are too big to be that weak. How large is this man? Hold on. Joey Swoll. I need to see how. Joey Swoll, height and weight. Oh, he's 5'6". No shade, but that actually makes sense. No shade. Okay, he's 5'6" and big. So he's one of those people that got really, really jacked because he was short to overcompensate. Now it makes sense. No shade. Shout out to everybody who's 5'6". Shout out to the short kings. But no shade. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of the short kings will get over the top swole in order to make up for their insecurity about their height. And that seems to be what Joey is doing. And I'm not mad at it, but what I am mad at the fact that it's like, this guy is soft. He's weak. He's fragile. He cares too much about the public's perception of him. Because why are you backtracking? Imagine being a grown man and apologizing because you paid homage to someone that was your childhood hero. I wish I would. I wish I could be that weak. I wish I would be. Maybe my life would be easier. Maybe my life would be easier if I was so willing to pussyfoot around what people get upset about. Come on, Joey. You are too big. What are these people going to do to you? They're going to leave mean comments. Oh my gosh, you guys are so mad at me because I wore a boa to look like Hulk Hogan. Please be so for real. If I want to dress up like Bill Cosby, I'm going to dress up like Bill Cosby. Okay? I'm not going to. I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, I would. Okay. And I would not apologize about it. I just feel like apology should be, saved for when something actually is worth apologizing for. But that being said, let's get into what Hulk Hogan said, because people try to allege that he also fired some black people because he found out they were black. I don't believe that at all, but because there's no receipts or proof of that. But let's get into this infamous recording of Hulk Hogan, which, by the way, I've only listened to a portion of it. I've never listened to the full thing. Here we go.
So there's a point where
why would they put my president on there?
my son would have been hanging out, holding hands together on Twitter, getting close to tiny block, doing something good. I'm not a double standard type guy. I'm a racist to a point. Yeah. Then when it comes to nice people, we all are that way.
Terrible.
When it comes to nice people, you can't say, I don't give a shit, I don't hate football, I don't hate basketball, but it happens. If we're
well, was that comment racist? A little, yeah, objectively. I mean, he did admit he's racist to a point, but do I disagree with him? No, I don't. If I was a rich white man, the last person I would want outside of obviously a criminal or those kind of people, I wouldn't want my daughter dating a broke YN. Is it a safe space? Is it a safe space? Is this a safe space? I love being black. I'm rooting for everybody black. I've been black for 28 years. I would not want my daughter dating a broke a YN. If you don't know what a YN, it's a young, what Hulk had to say. So that being said, it's I get what he's saying. It's I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with wanting your children to date within your race because it's a cultural thing at that point. But you have to think too, he is clearly talking about ghetto black people. He is not talking about, black people with an education. He's not talking about, successful rich black people. He wants his daughter to date somebody that's affluent and polished and bring something to the table. And with how ghetto black culture has gotten at this point, I can't blame him. I wish he would have worded it better, but I get what he's saying when he says he's racist to a point. That what that means, it's an ignorant way of saying he can't stand ghetto hood rattery. I don't blame him. I can't blame him. Is it ignorant to say it like that? Yeah. But this is also a wealthy old white man. What do you expect from a wealthy old white man? To bite his tongue and to tiptoe around and pussyfoot around in the way that he words his sentences? Come on. Be so for real. That's when people get so butthurt about what President Trump has to say. It's this is a multi-billionaire that could not possibly care less about your feelings. He's just going to say it straightforward. And Hulk, if he was actually racist, he would hate if it was a basketball player too. What he's more saying over everything is he just doesn't want Brooke, because shout out to Brooke Hogan. We love Brooke Hogan. She's a beautiful bombshell. I wouldn't want her with somebody broke and ghetto either. Okay. And a lot of these broke YNs love a snow bunny, especially a snow bunny that had an inheritance on her, which allegedly she told her dad that she didn't want to be in the will, which is crazy. Crazy. I would have taken all them coins. Put me in the will. I'd be a Hogan. Sure would be. But Brooke Hogan, I am so sorry for you that you're even getting dragged into this, because I don't know if she's still dating a black guy or not, or what that whole situation is. And frankly, I don't care. I get why I understand why people were mad at Hulk, but this guy apologized. He's apologized on shout out to Booker T. Shout out to Booker T, another WWE legend. One that I actually met in person, mind you. One of the nicest famous people I've ever met, and humongous in person. I really underestimated how ginormous that man was in person, but super, super, super kind soul. And, he talked to Booker T about the fact that he was apologetic and how he regretted what he said. And Booker T understood what he meant. If Booker T understood, why don't you? All hail King Booker, and all hail Queen Sharmell. If you know, you know. Shout out to Queen Sharmell. Now, I don't know. I just feel like people, they are so determined to be angry at people, and anybody that represents Americana. And then you add in the element that Hulk Hogan did speak on stage at the RNC and he backed Trump during the election. It just adds to this narrative of people trying to call him racist. He even plays into it sometimes where this was actually a segment. I forgot I think this was AEW, if not TNA. This video where he was talking to some young talent. Can we play that really quick?
Is it because, I don't know, we're Mexican?
Somos mexicanos, por eso. Sí.
Let me tell you something, punk. You better be careful what you're saying and who you're talking to. Period. Because the word racist is getting ready to come out of your mouth. It's going to be a real big issue with me and Mr. Bischoff. Nobody owes anybody nothing around here. Period. And if you and your familia think you're going to come in here and tell me how to run my company, you need to think about it real good, brother. Because I just might turn into the real-life Terminator and play a game a Hulkster says with your two beautiful Latin ladies. And we'll have a real problem.
Oh, Rosalita, you got to put them hoops back in. I'm sorry, y'all will never make me hate pro wrestling. I don't care, because that is cinema. I do not care. I don't care. I don't care. You know, he's playing into the whole thing and people trying to call him racist, and he's like, no, I'm not. Shout out to Impact Wrestling. That is so funny. And okay, this is a quick tangent, but do y'all know that meme of Stephanie McMahon where her nose is all scrunched up and it's like white girls in Mexico after... It's like white girls in Mexico after ordering guacamole and saying gracias or something like that. And she's just like, and it's the funniest meme. We got to add that in. It is the funniest meme, and it's even funnier because recently Stephanie McMahon on Monday Night Raw was talking to this woman named Stephanie Vaquer, who's from Peru, I think, somewhere in South America, and she speaks Spanish. And Stephanie said a sentence in Spanish, and you could tell she was so proud of herself for saying this one singular basic sentence in Spanish. And it's like, is she doing the meme in real life? We got to add it to the end of this video, but let me tell you. You will never be able to make me hate Hulk Hogan or pro wrestling. It is so funny to me. But, you know, my verdict is I do not believe Hulk Hogan is racist. And I want to play one last video, too, of this one TikToker trying to drag Hulk and going line by line.
Hulk Hogan has passed away today at the age of 71. He died on the 10-year anniversary of his racist rants being leaked online. I repeat, 10 years ago,
Pause.
He said a bunch of racist stuff.
First of all, just the way he's so excited about Hulk Hogan passing away is actually really discomforting to me. Like, you're gross. Like, you act like this guy was a terrorist. Let's keep going.
About his daughter's boyfriend, and 10 years from that day, on the same exact day, he did. The simulation is simulating. But it seems like the internet's up in arms. They don't know whether or not to keep calling him a racist now that he's passed. And I think I have the perfect way to handle that. On a game I would like to call, Is It Racist? Where we come to a final verdict on whether or not Hulk Hogan is a racist. Line number 1, and I will be reading these verbatim. And I quote, Brooke is the black man's son. Now, off the rip, I don't feel like that's racist. I feel like that's him stating the obvious. His daughter, Brooke, was sleeping with a black man's son. Final verdict?
Safe.
Next.
We agree.
Line number 2, and I quote, I don't give a if she's dating an 8-foot tall as long as he's making $100 million. That's racist. I don't even know where you're going to find an 8-foot tall. And final
pause. Close enough. I mean, when you're Hulk Hogan size and you meet a black man that's taller than Hulk Hogan, might as well be 8 foot. Might as well. I'm telling you, you will find 7 feet tall black crackheads walking down Doheny Drive in LA. If you want to see them, they exist. But let's keep going.
Racist.
Nah.
Next.
A little,
Line
but nah.
number 3, and I quote, I guess we're all a little racist.
A little.
Who is all Hulk Hogan? What are you talking about? Listen, if you would have said everybody was prejudiced, I think everybody has a little bit of prejudice in them.
That too.
But racist,
a little.
very, very specific. I'm going to assume you meant prejudice, so final verdict?
Suspect.
T.
Next.
T. So it was suspect.
Line number 4, and I quote,
If
we gon' with the let's get the rich ones. He could be in a Quentin Tarantino movie today. What do you mean if we go? Anyways, final verdict.
Racist.
Next, in line number 5, and I quote, I am racist to a point. What is the debate here? He told us
to a
he was
point.
racist. And what do you mean to a point? You're either racist or you're not. There is
Not true.
no point.
All right, pause.
Anyways,
Here's the
final
thing. Racist is one of those terms that it used to have real meaning and substance, and now it just really doesn't anymore. But the thing is when he says he's racist to a point, it more means he can't stand a certain element of black culture. There are elements of black culture I can't stand. There's elements of white culture I can't stand. Shout out to the Hispanics. Can't stand elements of your culture. Shout out to the Asians. The Asians are pretty unproblematic, but when they do have their problems, like, bringing fentanyl and stuff over here, and creating, viruses, I have issues with that. There's, it's to a point. It's to a point. It's like culturalist, if anything, if that's what you want to say.
verdict.
Racist.
Next. Now, with a final score of 3 racists, 1 suspect, and 1 safe, I think it's clear to say, Hulk Hogan, your final verdict is...
Innocent.
Racist.
Thank you for playing Is It Racist, where we find out, is it racist?
At least he was more fair than I expected him to be, low-key. But this is some clownery. Hulk Hogan, I declare you not racist. I declare you an icon, a legend, and someone that I hope is resting in peace. Anyways, cousins, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Respectfully. You let me know. Do you think Hulk Hogan was racist? It's a safe space for disagreement over here. Make sure you leave it in the comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon.